Glenville State University Athletic Department. We're back in the Waco Center today for another edition of the Coaches Show. And our guest in this segment is head wrestling coach Dylan Cottrell. Coach, good to see you there this morning.
Good to be back. Ready to talk wrestling again.
Tell you what, back full go. I know we've had a couple scrimmages, but the regular season got off in full bore this last Saturday with the Pioneer Duels here. Had a total of 8 teams, us and 7 guests. Right. A couple pools. Big day in the Waco Center. First off, I mean, it was a big day results-wise for your squad. Historic day results-wise. But let's first just talk about the event itself, getting to host an event of that magnitude here.
Well, the event was awesome. To be honest, it ran smoother than I thought it would. Myself, Coach Andrietta, the trainers, everyone involved, all the staff, my wrestlers who were not wrestling that helped out with track wrestling, getting the mat set up, the breakdown. It was a process. And that Friday night before, we were going, volleyball had their senior night, so my guys got to come out, kind of watch that beforehand, and then we set up. But that didn't get done until 8:30, so we were here till 11:30 setting up. So made for a long night, but it ended up running really smooth the next day. As anything, and I knew this coming in, being around wrestling so long. Hey, you have a big tournament like that, there's going to be some hiccups somewhere, right? And there was, right? Especially with wrestling, how you have to run, every single mat from a computer into a TV, right? There's going to be some technical difficulties, but overall, maybe we had, it happened 2 times and it was resolved in 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes, not really affecting any of the matches. So we had good feedback from all the coaches about, and we talked with Cheyenne a little bit about, the coaches saying that if we were going to have them back next year, that they'd want to come back. And so that's a good sign. I thought the competition was great. It was a great day of wrestling overall. But yeah, the event ran smooth. I was super happy with how it went. There's definitely some things that I want to change for next year, which is good, to see for an event. But it's something that I think in the future we're going to, circle back to.
We had that meeting last week. I know the conversation when we got in the afternoon, you thought we used to be wrestling at 4:30. Yeah. And it was over with by 3.
Yeah, we stayed ahead of schedule, and a lot of places. And I know everyone's wanting to get more money and stuff, but at the end of the day, 3 or 5, that's still a long day of wrestling, So I'm not going to sit around and have a 30-minute, 40-minute break when these teams are ready to wrestle, right? Especially, we got Ashley and King here; they're both 4 or 5 hours away. Emery and Henry was, 5 o'clock.
Getting out of here.
Yeah, there's no reason to push them back to 5 o'clock when we don't have to, right? The whole point of this event was for them to come here, right, and to get matches and get out, right? So we're not gonna waste their time doing that. We're here to wrestle, get 5 good matches for their starters, or maybe some of their non-starters in. We had the extra mat rolling. The coaches really loved that. It got all their non-starters and guys to get extra matches. So yeah, I think it ran really smoothly. Obviously, you get in the later rounds where there's not as many forfeits or not as many pins, that they take a little bit longer, but still we rolled, plenty ahead of schedule, which is something you always want to see. And I was happy again with, that just goes back to a lot of, our guys who were running the tables, making sure that we wasn't having problems that held things up.
Now within those matches, a lot of very competitive matches, competitive teams, and at the end of the day, some really good victories to go on the body of work for November 5th. That's going to look good, in February when all this comes into play.
Yeah, we didn't really have anyone get upset. We had some upsets here and there. I was proud of our guys. When you called me, I said it's probably the proudest of a team in a singular day that I've been in the 3 years I've been a head coach here. And that's not necessarily saying that that's the best teams ever wrestled for me, but I think our effort with we had 4 starters out, 2 of our guys since Saturday, right, have tested positive for the flu who wrestled, right? So we had starters who were sick as a dog, and we're going out there and wrestling 5 times. That's a lot in a day, right? That's not normal. Usually we're wrestling 2-3 times max. So they're out there sick, taking medicine, and just a lot of selflessness from our team. Had guys come in. Luke Martin came in one time. We bumped our lineup up, got a big win at 84, and allowed Cole and Jordan Williams to go up where Gavin Shamlin wasn't feeling good. And that kind of secured the win for us against a really good King team. So just overall as a team, I thought a lot of selflessness, great attitude, great effort. And that's why I was saying that it's probably the proudest I've been of a team, in my 3 years here. I thought, we just did all the little things right. And then, overall, my big takeaway from it, and I was just thinking about it walking over here, was, I pride myself in a coach that we're in shape always. And I don't think we had anyone that was really, dog tired to where it was costing us matches. Maybe we had some guys tired at the end of matches because we were scoring so many points, but that's what we want, right? We want to push our shape. Yeah. So I thought overall we were by far the best conditioned team. And in some cases, I think it won us big matches. So, that's something that, we're going to continue to work in our training. But overall, just, great attitude and effort from our guys and consistency. And, that's what we really push. And that's kind of our motto on the team.
I know last year at the end of the season, you had talked about, you said in retrospect, you're going to keep pushing a lot of matches early, but kind of pick your battles down the road as you got closer to the conference, regionals, nationals. And true to form, we got a big day out here on the football stadium Saturday, and then heading up to Case Western Reserve. Talk about the rest of this week. Staying on this early season mantra of getting these guys matches.
Yeah, we want to really build our foundation of our shape early and get our guys going and being active. A lot of wrestling too is timing, and that timing is in those live simulations, right? So we want to kind of get our guys really going and revved up, and then we'll cruise for a little bit, right? And then we get in the back half of the season, we'll pick and choose, who wrestles where, and when we want to start peaking guys. Obviously we'll start peaking for conference, regions, NCAAs. But right now, it's early. We just want to get these guys on the mat and get them comfortable with being in that simulation of actually wrestling,
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, it's been a whole year since some of them have been in a match, right? So we want to get them as comfortable as we can stepping on that line and get some of that anxiety about, stepping on against someone else out and just have them comfortable out there. Now going into this week, awesome event. Loved the event we did on the football field last year. It's going to seem very small compared to what this year is, what the teams we're bringing in, right? This year we got UND and Mercyhurst, who are both top 20 teams, UND being third in the country, right? They're a powerhouse. And then Finlay's always tough. Now, I think, they're a little down this year because they graduated, I think, like 6 starters. But they still have great wrestlers, right? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 3 great duels for us here again. And I'm super excited about that. And then quick turnaround, right? So wrestle Thursday. We'll probably practice Friday, get a little bit of weight off from that Thursday night, and then leave Saturday morning to go up to Case Western in Cleveland. And that's an open tournament, right? So a lot of our guys will be wrestling in that, and a lot of Division I's there. So that's our first big test. Obviously this week's a big test too, but you're going to have a lot of different teams, a lot of different stuff up there. Like I said, some of the D1 red shirts. Last year, Ohio State and Ohio both brought their full teams. So, you never know. They might do that again because it's just right there in their backyard. Super excited. And we're just trying to get those guys, like I said, is comfortable. Just comfortable wrestling in those matches. And hopefully, again, this week is great results. That's always the goal. But, the results right now are not so much what I'm worried about. It's always great to be 5-0 and to have a great weekend. As long as our attitude and effort's good, right?
Yeah.
This early, I'm going to be okay. And we'll move forward in a positive manner, right? Even if we take some losses, that's all right. So as long as our guys' attitude and effort's okay and they're being consistent in the classroom, around the community and in the wrestling room, we're going to be all right at the end of the day.
Yeah, and getting you where you need to be. Like I said, I know with the fellow Mountain East Conference rival there, West Lib, making a big splash, regionally and nationally.
Right.
They've been there before, and you all were newcomers to the scene.
Yeah.
So, it's exciting what these next couple of months are going to unfold for Glenville Wrestling.
Yeah, you look at things and it's kind of crazy to think that we're only 3 years into a program here, right? You know, when you really think about that, because you know you watch college football, they talk about it all the time. Like they have coach turnover at these programs, but these programs have been there for hundreds of years, and they're like, well, it's going to take him 5 years to change the program around with his recruits. You know, we started a whole program, and now we're top 20 in 3 years, and in my opinion, really 2 years. You know, that COVID year was, this is our second full year. You know, I just think sky's the limit here. We got a great thing going. You know, they know it and other places. You know, I think West Liberty, I can't speak for them, but I think they're a little nervous about what's happening here, and the possibility of, us dethroning them. It's as simple as that. You know, that's what we're coming for, is to win conference regions and then take as many as we can to NCAA tournaments. So, we got a lot of things that are coming, and, again, we've talked about this multiple times. As well as we wrestled this weekend, it's not even close to the product that we're going to put out on the back half of the season. So, continue to build, right? And then be excited about what's to come in the future, right? I 100% believe that we're a top 10 team in the country with the guys that we have in our room right now. All it is now is going and proving that at the end of the year. Yeah. So, I tell our guys all the time, with the way Division II is set up, it's all practice until regionals. Yeah. It's not like the Division I where it's a whole body of work the whole year, and you can get a wild card if you have a bad conference tournament. You got one chance to place top 3 at the region, and that's it, right? Yeah. So it's okay, if obviously we don't want to drop matches here and there because of NCAA seeding, but it's not as big a deal, right? If it happens. So, we tell our guys, don't get down, focus on, how we get better from a loss, right? And then just make it right when it matters. And that fact, it's kind of nice, but, we're just building, for those big tournaments at the end of the year, conference regions, and then
be in position to be in position.
Yeah, ready to go, and our guys understand that, right? We got a lot of older team now compared to what we had when we first started this, right? So brought in a lot of transfers. We got a lot of old guys that are leading these young guys, and I think it showed this weekend and it's showing in the way we're training. So it's exciting.
Well, I'll tell you what, we want to really invite everyone out. We'd love to see a big crowd out here at the football stadium on Thursday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 75 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be beautiful.
Looking at that, it gets warmer every time I look at it.
Right.
It's going to be exciting, and it's a great concept. And last year was successful, and it was like 50 then. So
right.
we
thought
it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be really warm. So tell you what, Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Coach.
Congrats on the wins there Saturday, and thank you all for joining us out there. We'll talk to you next week on the Coaches Show.